With just over 3,000 cars sold, Chery's sales are up 180% compared with the same time last year. That's on the back of the small Tiggo 4 SUV, the medium Tiggo 7 SUV, and the 7-seater Tiggo 8. With the introduction of the super hybrid systems, such as that featured on this Tiggo 7, Chery is hoping to boost the appeal of those cars significantly. We're here at the launch of the Tiggo 7 Super Hybrid and Tiggo 8 Super Hybrid, and I have behind me here the Tiggo 7 Super Hybrid in Ultra Trim. The Super Hybrid system combines an 18.3 or 18.4 kilowatt hour battery, depending on the model, with a 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Chery says that this motor has a 44.5% thermal efficiency and develops 105 kilowatts and 215 newton meters of torque on its own. When combined with the electrical powertrain, 150 kilowatts and 310 newton meters are on offer. According to Chery, what separates this system from its rivals is the continuity of power delivery. So there are some other hybrid cars that drop off in power and it's not always predictable, whereas Chery says they've eliminated that issue with this super hybrid system. In addition to that, it's efficient on the freeway, where there are other plug-in hybrid SUVs which are one-trick ponies, only good around town, and tail off in efficiency on the freeway. In real-world trials, Chery has achieved over 1,200 kilometres of range on one tank and one charge. According to Chery's engineers, you won't get worse than 6 litres per 100 kilometres, even if you're really trying to. In the case of the Super Hybrid, Chery's got these new wheel designs which cover more of the wheel for aerodynamic efficiency, shod with Maxxis Victor Sport tyres in the case of the Tiggo 7 and Continentals in the case of the Tiggo 8. The Urban has a very hubcap looking design. Let us know what you think about that in the comments. It's definitely different. The car's 18.3 kilowatt hour battery pack can be charged here using either Type 2 or CCS charging cables. Now, at the time of filming this video, we don't have the maximum DC charge rate, but we will put it up on the screen for you there. Another thing they've changed is this lighting element here. It looks a lot more upmarket and, dare we say, European. Apparently the Chery font has changed as well because it's the little things, right? There's a couple of cool things in here as well. So there's a fold-out hook here, a 12-volt power outlet. It's integrated into the side, and another fold-down hook, and a couple of speaker elements too. Speaking of speakers, there are up to 12 in the Tiggo 8 Ultimate, and it's got Burmeister style grills on there as well. And some of them are even incorporated into the headrest, so audio quality should be pretty fantastic. Rear seat accommodation of the Tiggo 7 is quite generous. There's minimal, if any, intrusion in the footwell. There's grab handles up here, courtesy lamps. There's the Burmeister style speakers I was talking about before. And I'm quite comfortable. I'm 177 centimeters tall and I've got another head's worth of headroom here. Compared with the non-hybrid Tiggo 7, there are quite a few changes in here which lift the ambience of the interior significantly. The white piping of this seating is a fine example. Looking at this power window and mirror pod, it seems like Chery are big fans of Mercedes-Benz. To start the car, all I've got to do is put my foot on the brake and chuck my seatbelt on. To turn it off, it's either a matter of locking the vehicle externally or I can do it from here. So the layout will be familiar to anyone who's driven a Chery before. We've got the same 3-spoke steering wheel, the attention monitor panel here, indicators are on the right-hand side, which can be a deal breaker for some. And then we've got some capacitive touch buttons here for the climate control. So there is wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a wireless pad here. The Tiggo 8 has a slightly different layout. The vents are down here and it's more of a sloping center console with a split console bin opening. The Tiggo 7's got a gear selector in the tunnel as well, whereas on the Tiggo 8 it's mounted up here and the indicators are on the left-hand side. It is selectable between EV and HEV, but it's pretty balanced in the real world when you leave it in HEVs. There are 3 driving modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport, and you get this funky animation when you select them, showing that the car's raring to go. We're on some of the more pockmarked and potholed roads of the Hunter Valley here. I've got to say, Chery's done a pretty good job as far as NVH goes. It's absorbing bumps without too much complaint. Maybe some of the sharper amplitude corrugations. It's catching it out a little bit, but solid. These cars do, I'm pleased to say, have multi-link rear suspension as well, which is so much better than the torsion beam layout on the Tiggo 4, which does deliver quite a rough ride. Now, Chery offers the Tiggo 4 in a hybrid now, but that's not a super hybrid, and therefore it's not a plug-in hybrid. They say that for that size of car, this extra hardware and the bigger battery doesn't really make sense. So for now, they're going to stick with the Tiggo 7 and Tiggo 8 super hybrids. True to form, 5.9 litres per 100 kilometres, in spite of the fact this car has been driven quite rigorously. Right, we're in a 100 zone, let's test the acceleration. Now, 150 kilowatts, 310 newton meters, not setting the world on fire, but it's instantly available from the electric powertrain, which is very handy. And at no stage has this car been caught off guard in terms of power delivery. It's adequate, definitely adequate. One thing that has typically been an issue with Cherys is just the steering, the lack of communication, and I call it a porcelain feel, in that it's a bit hollow and it's not linear, the progression of lock. So they haven't done too much there, and just when I thought I was getting a bit of steering feedback, turns out that was the lane keeper system artificially kicking in there. So steering's not a strong suit from an enthusiast point of view, but to the average motorist who's just going to drive this around, it's not going to matter too much, honestly. You turn the wheel, it'll go where you want it to. The 5-star ANCAP rating, things like that are going to matter more to the average consumer. So for a long distance cruiser, for someone who's focused on value, that travels about 300 kilometers a week, that's who Chery is targeting with this vehicle. Got no one behind me. Let's do a standing start to 100, because that's the limit. 100. Not too bad at all. There was a couple of little scrabbles for grip, but it didn't seem to impede progress off the line there, so not bad. All right, I've just had the petrol engine kick in then, and you notice it, but it's not obnoxious or loud or anything. In fact, Chery says that there's only a 1 decibel difference when the powertrain modes switch, which is impressive as well. All the ADAS features, a little bit of effort to defeat those. They work fairly reasonably well, certainly better than they did when the Emoda came out last year, which was a bit of a travesty. Chery listened, they took that feedback on board, and it's a vast improvement. Now, I drove down in the Ultimate, which is the flagship with a panoramic sunroof and a couple of other features. It's also got seat massaging, but with a pretty big catch. It's only on the left-hand side. Now, initially I thought that might have been an oversight in the conversion from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, but Chery assures us it's the exclusive Queen's co-pilot package. So it's deliberate and intentional, apparently. Why they would want to forego massaging on the driver's seat, I don't know, because every other car I've ever driven with massage seats has it for the driver, and it's a much appreciated feature there. But for all you passenger princesses out there, it might be just the thing. The combination of really sharp pricing, I can't believe the Tiggo 7 starts from $39,990 for a plug-in hybrid. Drive away too, that's going to be quite disruptive. It's hard to see them not doing well with these cars. Servicing is every 12 months or 15,000 kilometers. It's got those longer intervals, capped price as well. They've got this neoprene style material on the tops of the doors and the dash as well. I don't know how that's going to go for longevity and wear, but it looks decent enough. There's a bit of hollowness to this sort of faux, I guess, wood grain trim, but once again, it looks very nice. I think interior presentation is very, very decent in this car. And there we have it, guys. Would you buy one of these cars? Let us know in the comments section below.